My child, the silence of the day shattered when whispers carried your name into a conversation you never expected. His brother leaned closer, eyes narrowing, and the words that followed struck the air with an unseen weight. What he said about you will soon unfold like a storm that can no longer be contained, and every secret hidden until now is rushing into the light. Your person's voice trembled at first, as though burdened by what had to be admitted. His brother pressed harder, demanding to know what lived in his heart, and finally, he released it. The admission was not simple, it was heavy, coated with truths that could change everything you believed about his feelings. The world around you may feel ordinary right now, but after this truth comes forward, nothing will remain the same. The intensity of what was spoken is more than just a confession, it is a revelation with the power to tear down walls or build something greater than ever imagined. Every breath he took as he spoke revealed the emotions he fought to hide for so long. When his brother heard the words, his eyes widened, because what was spoken was not a casual remark. It was an unshakable truth that carried the weight of destiny, as if the universe had pushed him to say it out loud. And now, whether you are ready or not, the echoes of that conversation are reaching you. Type Amen to get blessing 333. He admitted that you were not just someone passing through his life. He told his brother that you were the reason he felt alive again, the force that gave his days a new meaning. Every detail he shared revealed how deeply you had become etched into his soul, even when he tried to deny it to himself. His brother sat in stunned silence, realizing that no one else had ever drawn out this kind of vulnerability from him. The walls he built around his heart for years had collapsed in a single conversation. His words painted you as the one who stood above all others, the one who truly mattered. But what shook the room was the part he almost whispered, as if afraid the universe would punish him for saying it aloud. He confessed his greatest fear, that losing you would break him in ways he could never recover from. The truth was raw, unguarded, and far from the image of strength he usually carried. The tension in his brother's face softened as he listened, because he could feel the sincerity behind every syllable. This was not a lie, not a fleeting attraction, it was a love that had rooted itself so deeply that even silence could no longer keep it buried. And now, that truth has traveled to you like a fire carried by the wind. Type Amen to get blessing 444. He admitted that every night before sleep, your face lingers in his thoughts. He shared that he replays moments of you laughing, speaking, and simply existing, as though those memories were treasures too precious to forget. His brother heard the longing in his tone and understood that this was not something he could ever walk away from. The words hung in the air, sparking a stillness that carried gravity. He confessed that no matter what storms came, he was drawn to you in ways that terrified him, because it meant surrendering control. And yet, in surrender, he found peace. The more he spoke, the clearer it became that his heart was fully yours. He told his brother that you were the only one who could silence his doubts, the only one who could make him believe in tomorrow again. This was not just love, it was a lifeline. His brother leaned back, stunned, realizing that this was no ordinary talk. The confession carried the power to shift lives, to change paths, and to pull you both closer to something bigger than fate itself. What you don't yet know is how soon this truth will reach you, face to face, and what it will demand of you. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The weight of his words only grew heavier as the night went on. He leaned closer to his brother, admitting that your presence was not just comfort, but also a haunting desire that followed him everywhere. He said that even when he tried to distract himself, the thought of you cut through the noise, always returning stronger than before. His brother could feel the intensity, as if this was more than just talk. It was the kind of confession that spills when the soul is too heavy to carry its own silence anymore. He admitted that he had already made choices because of you, decisions that no one else even knew about. The tension in the room deepened as he revealed how your voice had saved him on days he thought he'd never find strength again. He told his brother that your words carried power, and without them, he might not have survived the storms of his past. The look in his eyes showed that this was not admiration alone, it was survival wrapped in love. And then came the whisper that carried the force of thunder. He admitted that he would rather lose everything else than lose you. Those words, once spoken, could never be taken back, and his brother knew they were carved in truth. Type Amen to get blessing 666. His brother leaned forward, stunned by the honesty of what he heard. He reminded him of the risks, of the sacrifices such feelings could bring, but he shook his head. He made it clear that nothing in this world compared to the bond he felt with you, nothing ever could. The confession grew even deeper as he explained how you made him feel understood in ways no one else ever had. He told his brother that when you looked at him, it was like you were seeing not just the man he was, but the man he longed to be. That truth, once revealed, shattered the last walls he had around his heart. The room grew still, as if even the air knew something powerful was being released. He described you as his anchor, the one steady force that pulled him back every time life tried to drag him under. His brother's silence was no longer disbelief, but respect for a love too strong to deny. The truth carried forward like a flame that could not be extinguished. He told his brother that he no longer feared what others thought, because the love he carried for you was bigger than judgment, bigger than fear. And now, those words are coming toward you like a wave you cannot escape. Type Amen to get blessing 777. His voice trembled more as he went on, but there was no turning back. He told his brother that you were not just a choice in his life, you were the heartbeat he never expected to find again. The honesty in his words carried the weight of a promise, and his brother could feel the unshakable devotion behind them. Then he confessed something even more intense, something that made his brother's eyes darken with shock. He admitted that when he is alone, your presence still lingers like a shadow that refuses to fade. He could no longer separate himself from the thought of you because every fiber of his being was tied to your existence. The silence after that statement was heavy, pressing down like a storm cloud. His brother realized that these were not just declarations of love, these were chains of destiny pulling him closer to you no matter what stood in the way. And destiny, once spoken aloud, becomes impossible to deny. The truth grew bolder as he admitted that he had already begun planning his future around you. He whispered that every dream he carried now had your face in it, every plan included your presence, and every vision of tomorrow was empty without you. His brother looked at him, realizing that there was no undoing this kind of devotion. Type Amen to get blessing 888. He leaned forward, lowering his tone as though the walls themselves might betray him. He confessed that he had already spoken to others in confidence, hinting about you without revealing everything, because the love he carried could not stay locked inside him anymore. Every word betrayed a man who was done hiding. His brother warned him about the dangers of letting this out too soon. But he shook his head, determined, saying that his love for you was worth any risk, any judgment, any cost. His eyes burned with the fire of a man who knew he was standing at the edge of something eternal. Then he shared how your kindness had disarmed him in ways he never imagined. He told his brother that every smile you gave him chipped away at his fears, until he was left defenseless and raw. And yet, in that rawness, he found strength he had never known. The words poured like an unstoppable river, carrying with them the rawest truth of his heart. He admitted that no one else could ever replace you, that even if the world tried to pull you apart, he would resist until his last breath. His brother sat in stunned silence, realizing this was a love too strong to ever fade. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The words he spilled that night did not stop, they only deepened. His brother sat there, almost frozen, as he described how every single decision he had been making was secretly shaped by the thought of you. He admitted that he checked every choice against one question inside him: would this bring me closer to you, or further away? His eyes burned with a strange mixture of fear and determination. He said that you were the one person who could break him entirely, yet also the one who could save him completely. The vulnerability in his tone left no doubt that this love was not fragile, it was unshakable. Then came the most unexpected revelation. He admitted that he had already pictured standing before you, confessing everything to your face. He told his brother that he had rehearsed the words in silence, afraid yet desperate, praying that when the time came, his voice would not fail him. His brother's expression shifted, realizing that a decision had already been made inside his heart. The night grew colder, but his words only grew warmer with truth. He said that he had never loved this way before, never felt consumed in both body and soul by another person. His brother could feel it. This was no ordinary confession, this was a destiny revealing itself. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. He leaned back, exhausted yet relieved, because the burden was finally shared. He explained that keeping these feelings hidden was eating him alive, like carrying a flame that burned too hot to contain. Now that it was spoken, the fire had escaped, and there was no way to put it back. His brother warned him again, saying that truth this raw could not be taken lightly. But he shook his head, saying that no matter what storms came, he was ready to face them as long as you were on the other side. The strength in his words made his brother realize that nothing could change his course. He revealed moments that no one else knew about, the times he secretly protected you from situations without you even knowing. He confessed that he had silently stepped into places of danger just to make sure you were safe. His brother's eyes widened, realizing the depth of silent sacrifices he had already made. The truth was now unstoppable, and every word carried him closer to the core of his heart. He told his brother that if you ever knew the lengths he had gone for you, you would finally understand the depth of his devotion. And that devotion, once exposed, could never be hidden again. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. His words began to shake with intensity, but still he kept going, like a dam breaking open. He admitted to his brother that every time he looked at you, he felt something deeper than attraction, it was recognition, as though he had finally found the missing piece of himself. The fire in his voice was undeniable, and his brother could only sit, caught in the gravity of what was being confessed. He went on to reveal that he had started making promises to himself in silence. Promises that no matter how much the world tried to interfere, he would never let you go. Promises that even if distance or circumstance tried to tear you apart, he would fight until the very end. The air thickened with emotion as he confessed his hidden prayers. He admitted that he had already asked for strength to protect you, guidance to love you properly, and courage to never fail you. His brother realized these were not the prayers of a man in doubt, but of someone already bound by unshakable devotion. Then his voice dropped lower, trembling with rawness. He admitted that he sometimes feared you would never truly understand how much he loves you, because his love ran too deep for words. And yet, he said, he would spend a lifetime proving it if he had to. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. He leaned back, exhausted from the weight of his own honesty, but there was still more to spill. He told his brother that he had already been planning ways to step closer into your life without you noticing. His moves were quiet, careful, but always with the intention of keeping himself tied to you. His brother's eyes sharpened, understanding now that this was not only love, but a commitment that had already crossed into destiny. He warned him that such a love could be dangerous if unguarded, but he refused to listen. He had already decided that nothing else mattered, not judgment, not distance, not even fear. The more he spoke, the more his words took on the rhythm of fate itself. He said that you were the reason he smiled again after years of emptiness. You were the force that made him believe in life when he thought hope was gone. His brother sat in silence, absorbing the truth that no wall, no storm, no interference could break this. And then, with tears almost forming, he admitted the truth that shook even his own heart. He said that if he could only have one thing in this lifetime, it would be you. That truth, once spoken, echoed in the room like thunder refusing to die down. Type Amen to get blessing 1414. His brother could hardly believe the flood of emotions pouring out, but he did not interrupt. He watched as the man before him opened wounds that had never been spoken aloud. Each sentence carried the weight of a lifetime, and yet all of it was bound to you. He admitted that before you, his days were colorless. He described how he walked through life with emptiness, smiling on the outside while breaking on the inside. But since you entered his world, he felt alive in ways he thought he had lost forever. His voice grew more certain as he continued, revealing how he secretly admired your strength. He said you carried a light that even his darkest days could not extinguish. That light became his guiding star, pulling him toward something greater than himself. Then he revealed the secret that nearly broke his brother's composure. He confessed that you were the only person he ever truly trusted with his heart. For him, trust was impossible with others, but with you, it happened naturally, like breathing. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. His brother leaned forward, his face etched with disbelief but also respect. He asked him if he was ready for the storm that this kind of love might bring. But he shook his head, saying storms meant nothing if you were his shelter at the end of them. He admitted that he had already chosen you long before you even realized it. He told his brother that from the first moment, his soul recognized you in ways his mind struggled to explain. That recognition had grown stronger with every passing day, until it became undeniable. His voice cracked slightly as he went deeper. He said he often caught himself smiling for no reason, only to realize it was because he had thought of you. Even in silence, you were present, living in the corners of his mind where no one else could reach. The truth was unstoppable now, flowing like a river breaking through the rocks. He revealed that he feared losing you more than losing anything else in this world. His brother felt the weight of that fear and realized how dangerous and powerful this love truly was. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. His brother could see the way his hands shook as he spoke, but the words refused to stop. He admitted that you had become the only safe place he had left in this world. Even when everything else collapsed, he felt he could survive as long as you remained in his life. His voice thickened with emotion as he confessed the part he had never said to anyone. He told his brother that when he looked at you, he no longer saw just a person, he saw his future, his reason, his very purpose. It was not a choice anymore, it was destiny carved into his soul. The room was quiet, but the silence only made his words echo stronger. He explained that even when he tried to push the feelings away, they grew louder, stronger, refusing to be silenced. His brother leaned forward, realizing that this love was not temporary, it was permanent. And then came the most vulnerable truth yet. He admitted that he had already imagined life without you, and the thought destroyed him. He confessed that losing you would feel like losing the air he breathed, and that was a fear he could never escape. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. His brother took a deep breath, knowing this was no ordinary confession. He warned him that love like this could shake the foundations of everything around him. But he shook his head, saying that nothing mattered anymore except you. He described the moments he watched you from a distance, admiring the way you carried yourself. He told his brother that even in your silence, you spoke louder than anyone else ever could. The admiration in his tone was endless, filled with awe and reverence. The confession grew deeper, spilling memories that no one else had access to. He revealed that every smile from you felt like a secret gift, something he carried in his heart long after the moment had passed. His brother saw clearly now, this was not a man in infatuation, but a man bound in love. He ended with a vow, one that was whispered yet filled with unshakable strength. He said that no matter what storms came, no matter who tried to interfere, his love for you would never die. Those words were heavy, unbreakable, and they now travel to you with the weight of destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. He stood and paced the room, unable to contain the storm inside his chest. He told his brother that he had already begun writing the words he planned to speak to you, not on paper, but inside his bones. Every step he took tonight was a rehearsal for the moment his truth would finally reach you. His brother watched the way he carried the confession like a torch. He warned him that once the door opened, there would be no return to silence. He nodded, accepting that silence had already ended and the new path had already begun. He described the first time he truly saw you as more than a passing presence. He said the world fell quiet around you as if the air knew a sacred name had been spoken. From that day, everything he did moved in your direction like a tide answering the moon. He confessed that he had hidden this love inside ordinary moments. He placed it between small conversations and simple gestures that seemed harmless from the outside. Only now did he admit that every ordinary moment had carried a secret vow. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. He pulled a small item from his pocket and turned it in his hand, nervous and reverent. It was not extravagant, but it carried meaning he had not shared with anyone until this night. He told his brother that one day soon it would belong to you. His brother swallowed hard, realizing the measure of this intention. This was not pretend or passing time, this was a blueprint etched with devotion. The room felt heavier, but the heaviness was not fear, it was certainty. He spoke of the promises he had already made to himself in quiet corridors of thought. He promised to honor your boundaries, to protect your heart, to speak with truth even when truth was hard. He promised to show up even when the day felt impossible. He shared the most fragile truth he had guarded for months. He said he had seen you at your strongest and at your most tired, and both versions filled him with awe. The love he carried did not depend on perfect moments, it survived in the imperfect ones. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. He admitted he had watched shadows gather around your name from people who did not wish you well. He said he could feel the chill of envy at the edges of your path, cold and calculating. He swore he would stand where the chill gathered and scatter it with action. His brother nodded slowly, hearing the resolve in a voice that once trembled. Resolve replaced hesitation, like a blade forged from long-hidden fire. He knew a man like this would not be moved by gossip or games. He described how he had begun to change his schedule quietly. He took on tasks that would free his time when the moment came to step forward. He arranged his life so that his presence would be available when yours needed it most. He admitted that even the way he breathed had shifted since this love took root. Each inhale carried a hope, each exhale carried a prayer for patience. He did not want to rush destiny, but he refused to delay it out of fear. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. He revealed the memory that would not let him sleep. One evening, you had spoken with simple grace about something heavy you carried alone. He said that moment carved a home for you inside his chest that nothing could evict. His brother's eyes softened at the sheer tenderness of the memory. He could see that the story was not dressed in fantasies, but in reality. Real moments held this together like a spine that would not bend. He admitted he had bought a small box and tucked it away. Inside it he placed little reminders of your presence, things that would look ordinary to anyone else. To him they were keys to a door already opening. He described the quiet decision he had made. He would not hide behind timing or excuses anymore. He would move when the ground told him to move, and tonight the ground was shaking. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. He turned to the window and watched the night hold its breath. He said he could almost feel your heartbeat from a distance, a rhythm that called him toward courage. The night did not feel empty anymore, it felt alive with a mission. His brother stepped closer and placed a hand on his shoulder. The gesture was simple, but it sealed something unspoken. The two of them knew that after tonight, everything would be different. He confessed that he had protected your name in rooms where it was not safe. He had shut doors on lies that sought to stain your spirit. He would do it again without hesitation, because honor was his chosen language. He spoke softly, almost reverently, as if fear itself had grown quiet. He said he was prepared to stand beside you in public or in silence. He said he would carry the weight with you, not as a witness, but as a partner. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. He admitted that he had considered writing you a letter. He wanted to put into words the things that could not survive in a hurried conversation. He wanted to hand you a truth that would not vanish with the noise of the day. His brother told him that the letter could carry his voice when his voice shook. It could hold him steady when emotions tried to steal the words. He nodded, understanding that love deserved something crafted with care. He described how he had practiced the moment of confession in quiet spaces. He stood in empty halls, letting his voice learn the shapes of honesty. He taught his heart to speak without breaking. He promised that when the moment came, there would be no half-truths. He would not dress the truth in fear or apology. He would place it at your feet like an offering and let it stand on its own. Type Amen to get blessing 2424.